The year was 2020, and the weight of our 23-year marriage bore down on both of us. As I navigated the challenges of recovering from reconstructive knee surgery, the once solid foundation of our relationship began to crack. The physical limitations left me unable to contribute to household duties, causing tension that lingered in the air. One evening, as the shadows of suspicion darkened our home, I mustered the courage to confront my wife. The air was heavy with unspoken words as I limped into the living room, finding her immersed in her phone. "Something's not right, Allison," I began tentatively, my voice betraying a mix of concern and vulnerability. She glanced up, her eyes flickering with a hint of guilt before masking it with a forced smile. "It's just a rough patch, darling. We'll get through it. It's probably the stress from your recovery." Little did I know that her words were a mere veil, concealing a secret that would shatter the very fabric of our lives. Over the next few weeks, the emotional distance between us widened. Our conversations became stilted, and the warmth that once defined our connection felt like a distant memory. Nights were spent in silence, punctuated only by the rhythmic ticking of the clock, counting down to a revelation I wasn't prepared to face. One evening, as we sat at the dinner table in strained silence, I finally voiced the lingering suspicions that had plagued my thoughts. "Allison, we've been through so much together. I need to know if something is going on," I said, the concern etched across my face. Her eyes darted away, avoiding mine. "It's nothing, just work stress. Can we talk about this later?" But later never came, and the tension within our home continued to escalate. The feeling of being on the precipice of a life-altering revelation loomed over me, and it was only a matter of time before the tipping point would thrust me into a reality I never anticipated. Little did I know that the storm brewing within our marriage would lead me down a path of revenge, forever altering the course of our intertwined destinies. The aftermath of that fateful evening lingered in the air, casting a heavy shadow over our once happy home. As I continued to mend from reconstructive knee surgery, the physical limitations became a silent accomplice to the unraveling threads of our marriage. Days turned into weeks, and the strain on our relationship deepened. The once vibrant intimacy between us faded, replaced by an awkward silence that seemed to grow with each passing moment. I felt like a spectator in my own life, helpless as our connection withered away. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I found myself alone in the dimly lit living room, contemplating the fragments of our once beautiful marriage. Allison entered, her gaze avoiding mine, and we danced around the unspoken tension. "Is everything okay?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She sighed, her eyes reflecting a mix of frustration and resignation. "I'm just tired, you know. Work, the house, everything. It's overwhelming." Little did I know that beneath the surface of her weariness, a secret was taking root, ready to bloom into a revelation that would shatter the foundation of our shared history. As the days passed, the distance between us grew, manifesting not only in the physical realm, but also in the emotional chasm that seemed insurmountable. The walls erected around Allison's heart became impenetrable, leaving me standing on the outside, unable to comprehend the transformation occurring within her. One night, unable to bear the silence any longer, I broached the subject that had become the elephant in the room. "Allison, we used to share everything. What's changed? What aren't you telling me?" She hesitated, her eyes flickering with a mixture of guilt and sorrow. "It's just a phase, a rough patch. We've been through worse, right?" The words hung in the air, a fragile thread attempting to bind the unraveled pieces of our connection. But deep down, I sensed that this was more than a mere rough patch. It was a prelude to a revelation that would redefine the very essence of our marriage. Little did I know that the threads holding us together were about to snap, catapulting me into a journey of heartbreak and revenge that would forever alter the course of our intertwined lives. The persistent feeling that something was off continued to gnaw at me, driving me to uncover the truth behind the growing distance in our marriage. March 2020 marked the point of no return, as I delved into the labyrinth of social media, hoping to decipher the cryptic messages hidden within Allison's digital world. Nights became my ally as I scrolled through her Facebook, searching for any signs of a fracture in our seemingly unbreakable bond. The entries, once filled with snapshots of our shared life, now showcased a narrative I was oblivious to, a narrative of deception. One evening, as Allison engrossed herself in her phone, I couldn't suppress the gnawing suspicion any longer. "Who are you always texting, Allison? You've been distant, and I feel like there's something you're not telling me." She looked up, her eyes guarded. "It's just work stuff, you know? Busy times." "Don't worry about it." But worry I did. The more she dismissed my concerns, the stronger my intuition screamed that there was more to this than mere work-related stress. The real revelation unfolded when I started noticing a pattern in her social media posts. A recurring figure, a coworker, appeared in numerous pictures, their proximity more than just friendly. In each photograph, his arm wrapped possessively around her, his presence uncomfortably close. Doubt pierced through me like a dagger. Who is this guy, Allison? Why is he always so close to you in these pictures? She hesitated, a fleeting expression of guilt crossing her face. He's just a friend, a colleague. There's nothing more to it. Little did I know that her reassurances were feeble attempts to mask a reality that was unraveling before my eyes. The signs of infidelity were etched across her online presence, a breadcrumb trail leading me to a truth I wasn't prepared to accept. The unraveling threads of our marriage now seemed irreparable. As I confronted Allison with the mounting evidence, her evasive responses hinted at a deeper betrayal that threatened to shatter the very foundation of the life we had built together. Little did I know that the discovery of her affair would propel me into a dark journey of revenge, forcing me to confront the painful truth that our love was no longer the sanctuary it once was. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, the digital realm became a battlefield of hidden truths and unspoken betrayals. Armed with a growing sense of dread, I continued my descent into Allison's social media, hoping to find answers that would either debunk my suspicions or confirm the unthinkable. One evening, as the glow of the computer screen illuminated my determined face, Allison entered the room. "What are you doing?" she asked, her tone laced with an uneasy curiosity. "I need to understand, Allison," I replied, my eyes not leaving the screen. "Something's not right, and I can't ignore it any longer." Her eyes widened, a flicker of anxiety betraying her composure. "You're overthinking things. It's just social media, not the real world." Little did she realize that the virtual world was a reflection of the shadows cast upon our reality. The pictures told a story of late nights and lingering touches, a narrative that left no room for denial. As I combed through her Facebook entries, a recurring male figure emerged, a coworker whose presence in her life extended beyond the boundaries of a professional relationship. In these photographs, his arm wrapped possessively around her, and the subtle touches spoke of a connection that transcended the platonic. Frustration boiled within me, and I confronted Allison with the evidence, desperation seeping into my voice. "Who is he, Allison? Why is he always there, so close to you?" She sighed, a feeble attempt to mask the truth. "He's just a friend, a colleague. You're reading too much into it." The dismissive tone only fueled my determination to unravel the truth. I extended my search to his social media profiles, hoping to find the missing pieces of the puzzle. However, the quest for clarity took an unexpected turn when I discovered I was blocked from accessing his Facebook account. Why would he block me if he's just a friend? I muttered to myself, a surge of anger bubbling beneath the surface. Allison, sensing my distress, intervened. "It's probably a misunderstanding. Don't let it bother you." Little did she know that the puzzle was becoming clearer, and the image it portrayed was one of betrayal and deceit. As the social media labyrinth revealed its secrets, I found myself standing on the precipice of a harsh reality, a reality that would soon propel me into a journey of revenge, determined to dismantle the facade of our crumbling marriage. The revelation of Allison's affair wasn't just a wound. It was a deep, festering sore that demanded justice. The pain of betrayal birthed a burning desire for revenge, a desire to make her feel the agony I had endured. As the days unfolded, I found myself crafting a meticulous plan to turn the tables and leave her life in ruins. One evening, I confided in my closest friend, Connor, who had been a witness to the unraveling of our marriage. As I detailed my plan for revenge, he listened with a mixture of concern and amusement. "Are you sure about this, mate? Revenge can be a slippery slope," he warned. "I've given this a lot of thought, Connor. I want her to feel the way she made me feel. Betrayed and broken," I replied, the edge in my voice revealing the depth of my determination. As I laid out the strategy, Connor nodded in understanding. "Just be careful, all right? We're here for you." But revenge has a way of consuming the one seeking it. Undeterred, I expanded my circle of confidence, bringing my older sister and two more close friends into the fold. In a clandestine meeting, I shared the sordid details of Allison's affair, swearing them to secrecy. My older sister, sensing the gravity of the situation, voiced her concern. "This is a risky path you're walking, but I'll support you. Just don't lose yourself in the process." With my support system in place, I began planting the seeds of doubt in Allison's mind. Subtle insinuations and strategically dropped hints fueled her paranoia. pushing her towards the very edge of the abyss she had unknowingly created for herself. Days turned into weeks as the revenge plan unfolded. I engaged in calculated mind games, making her believe I was unfaithful. The more she questioned, the deeper she fell into the labyrinth of doubt, and I reveled in the agony I was inflicting. One evening, as I stonewalled her attempts at intimacy, she confronted me with a mix of frustration and desperation. "What's going on, Joel? You're distant and I can't take it anymore." I smirked, the satisfaction evident in my eyes. "Maybe you should reflect on your own actions, Allison. Maybe then you'll understand." Little did she know that my indifference was a carefully crafted act, a prelude to the final phases of my revenge plan. As she grappled with the consequences of her actions, unaware of the storm about to engulf her life, I couldn't help but wonder if revenge would truly bring closure, or if it would only deepen the scars of betrayal. The vengeance that simmered within me demanded a methodical and relentless approach. As I delved into the intricacies of my revenge plan, I realized that the execution needed to be flawless, leaving no room for error. Connor, my confidant in this dark endeavor, became an essential ally in plotting the intricate details. One evening, over drinks and hushed tones, I outlined the plan to Connor, the flickering candlelight casting shadows that mirrored the devious nature of our conversation. "I need her to feel the pain, Connor, the way she made me feel. This has to be calculated and precise." He leaned back, his expression serious. "Joel, I get it, but you've got to be careful. Revenge has a way of backfiring." A sleek grin crossed my face. "Don't worry, Connor. I've thought this through. She needs to understand the consequences of her actions." The plan unfolded in stages. I began by subtly feeding Allison's doubts, creating an atmosphere of suspicion that mirrored the agony I had endured. Anonymous messages, strategically placed items hinting at a non-existent affair. Each move calculated to push her towards the edge of her own unraveling reality. Days turned into weeks, and Allison's world crumbled as the mind games took their toll. One evening, she confronted me with a mixture of frustration and vulnerability. "Joel, we need to talk. Something is not right between us." I feigned innocence, my face a canvas of concern. "What are you talking about, Allison? Everything is fine." Her eyes bore into mine, searching for answers. "Don't play games, Joel. I know something's going on." A smirk played on my lips. "Maybe you're just feeling guilty about something, Allison. Maybe you should look in the mirror for the answers." As the tension within our home escalated, I enlisted the help of my older sister and two close friends, sharing the intricate details of my revenge plot with those I trusted most. Their reactions ranged from concern to reluctant support, each one cautioning me about the dangers of playing with fire. Undeterred, I moved forward with the plan, orchestrating a series of events that would culminate in a grand finale of chaos. The meticulous nature of my revenge left no stone unturned, from planting seeds of doubt to manipulating circumstances that would expose her infidelity in the most public and humiliating way possible. Little did Allison know that the unraveling threads of our marriage were part of a web I had spun, a web designed to ensnare her in the consequences of her own betrayal. As the final phases of the plan approached, I couldn't help but wonder if revenge would bring the closure I sought, or if it would only deepen the wounds inflicted upon both of us. As the elaborate revenge plan reached its crescendo, the air hung heavy with anticipation. The metaphorical nukes were armed, and the final phases were set in motion, leaving Allison blissfully unaware of the storm about to descend upon her world. Thanksgiving, a seemingly ordinary family gathering, became the backdrop for the initiation of the last act of my vengeance. My eldest son and his girlfriend played unwitting hosts to a gathering that masked the impending chaos. My sister, my closest friends, and Connor, my co-conspirator in this intricate scheme, gathered in secrecy, offering silent support as the gravity of the moment unfolded. The atmosphere in the room was charged with a mix of tension and determination. My sister voiced her concern, her eyes reflecting a blend of sympathy and caution. "Joel, are you sure about this? Once you cross this line, there's no turning back." I met her gaze with a resolute nod. "I've thought about it long and hard. She needs to face the consequences of her choices." As the night progressed, laughter and seemingly joyous celebrations masked the underlying truth. Allison, unaware of the impending revelation, engaged in festivities, oblivious to the storm that loomed on the horizon. In a quiet moment, away from prying eyes, Connor pulled me aside, his expression filled with both support and concern. "Joel, it's not too late to reconsider. Once this is done, there's no erasing the consequences." I gripped his shoulder, my determination unwavering. "She needs to understand what she's done, Connor. This is the only way." The festivities continued, a facade of normalcy concealing the chaos brewing beneath the surface. The night unfolded with a semblance of peace, but beneath the veneer of holiday cheer, the final phase of my revenge plan waited patiently. The day after Thanksgiving, I executed the next steps with military precision. My belongings, the most sensitive items that held the essence of our shared life, were discreetly moved out with the help of Connor. The spare key exchanged hands, and my departure from the life Allison and I had built together began. In the following weeks, I took additional precautions. A new phone number, and a new circle of confidants who knew of my whereabouts, each move carefully calculated to sever the last remaining threads tying me to the woman who had betrayed my trust. As I prepared to disengage from her life, my thoughts wavered between the satisfaction of revenge and the heavy toll it exacted on my own soul. Little did Allison know that the storm was approaching, a storm of consequences that would redefine the course of her life. The nukes were armed, and the fallout awaited, as the revenge I had meticulously orchestrated neared its inevitable climax. The aftermath of Thanksgiving unfolded with a silent anticipation, like the calm before a storm. The fallout of my revenge plan loomed on the horizon, ready to unleash its consequences upon Allison's unsuspecting world. As I distanced myself, armed with a new phone number and a new life, I awaited the echoes of the nukes I had carefully armed. The first signs of the fallout surfaced on Christmas Eve. Allison, oblivious to the impending storm, came home expecting the warmth of the holiday season. Little did she know that the foundations of our shared life had crumbled beneath the weight of betrayal. As she entered our once happy home, a sense of emptiness lingered in the air. The absence of my presence was a poignant reminder of the fractures that had widened over the course of our 23-year marriage. She showered, hung out with me briefly, and the tension in the room became palpable. On the living room couch, a confrontation unfolded, each word heavy with the weight of unspoken truths. "Joel, something is not right. We can't go on like this," Allison pleaded, her eyes filled with a mix of confusion and desperation. I maintained a stoic facade, my resolve unyielding. "Maybe you should reflect on your own actions, Allison. It's time to face the consequences." She grasped at straws, trying to decipher the enigma that had become our relationship. "Why are you doing this? What's happened to us?" A wry smile played on my lips, the satisfaction of revenge mingling with the bittersweet reality of our crumbling marriage. "You had your secrets, Allison. Now it's time for you to live with them." The fallout intensified as Allison grappled with the consequences of her actions. The virtual world became a battleground. Her attempts to reach me met with a resounding silence. Social media, once a platform for shared memories, now bore witness to the unraveling of a marriage. Desperation seeped into her messages as she pleaded for an explanation, a closure that remained elusive. In the midst of her chaos, mutual friends and acquaintances watched the spectacle, unknowingly becoming spectators to the consequences of betrayal. Meanwhile, I remained steadfast in my retreat, leaving Allison to face the fallout alone. The divorce papers filed under the statute of adultery serve as a legal testament to the breach of trust that had shattered the foundations of our once unbreakable bond. In the quiet solitude of my newfound life, I couldn't help but wonder if revenge had truly brought closure or if it had merely deepened the wounds for both of us. As the fallout settled, I stood at the crossroads of a new beginning, haunted by the echoes of a marriage that had crumbled under the weight of deceit. Thank you for listening to the story to the end, and if you like it, please support us with a like as well as subscribe to our channel. Write in the comments what you